I don't even know his name again.
Macias the Lunarch.
Macias the Lunarch. 4 Hero of the Bladehold, 4 Honor of the Pure, 4 Intangible Virtue, 3 Dismember, 4 Midnight Haunting, which is Spectre Procession, or a version of Spectre Procession. But they have flying. 4 Elspeth Terrell, 4 Shrine of Loyal Legions, and 3 Day Judgment.
Yeah.
He smashed a White Weenie deck earlier today. Like, just smashed it.
Yeah, Elspeth seems pretty awesome. Token Town is what we've been calling this deck.
I like Token Town.
And we're off to the races. Andrew with no turn 1 play. Brian opting for a Ponder. Now, that's a card, first time we've seen Ponder cast today. Finally going to see some shuffling, as he does here on the first turn. You know, I just realized this. We've seen almost no shuffling. We've seen a couple surgical extractions.
Oh yeah, there isn't like it is, like it was.
It's so much better. Wizards has actively been trying to reduce the amount of shuffling in the game because it takes up so much time.
Oh yeah, Brian Kibler, saw this and he thought it was the funniest thing ever. At the Pro Tour, all four people at his table, or all 4 matches at the table, everyone was shuffling. All decks were being shuffled at the same time.
That's hilarious. And down comes turn 2 drop. I think is that Macias? I think that's Macias the Lunar. It doesn't look like Macias. It's got a counter on it though.
It's Shrine.
Oh, Shrine. Okay. You just put it where the creatures would go. Sure. So yeah. Shrine down with a counter on it. Also has the...
Where do you put your Shrine?
Off to the side.
Really?
Yeah. That's where artifacts go.
I don't know where artifacts go.
I'm not crazy like Paulo. I don't put my lands in front of my creatures.
He's got to be the best player that does that. Well, he's got.
You can
put him
it's not
anywhere.
hard when you're like, you know, one of the top
when
5
he is
players.
the best player in the world. All right, Geist comes down.
Yeah, that's a card. Once again, people have talked about Geist of Saint Traff. Like, it might be played somewhere, but we've seen that card over and over and over again today.
All right, so I think Midnight Haunting's getting cast right now, giving Andrew 2 Spirit tokens, and they both are holding trophies.
It's the best kind of Spirit tokens to hold.
All right, and I think he's able to play a hero if he wants to. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Shrine seems like a very powerful card in this format. Shrine of Loyal Legions. There's not a lot of removal for these cards, and it just ticks up for a long time. These blue-black control decks are trying to generate all this card advantage. Well, sure, you try to whittle me down with your Liliana and your Think Twices, and I'll just keep taking this up until I get to put a ton of creatures into play and kill you.
I mean, the token strategy just seems very good in general because it beats the Liliana strategy. Yeah. They're like Liliana. You're like, oh, well, I've got a bunch of creature tokens.
Exactly.
It doesn't do that much. And I mean, attacking with that guy suddenly doesn't look so hot.
Well, I think he has an Oblivion Ring. Yeah, Oblivion Ring hits you for 6.
Good old 3 mana 6/6s.
I mean, welcome to Magic 2011.
And
is that just one of the new things that they're doing? Because there seems to be a lot of creatures that when it attacks, it brings in tokens that are attacking. I mean, there's just a big abundance of them lately, and they never were around before.
Well, there's Hero Bladeholds, Geist,
and the 3/4 for 5 green guy.
Yeah, it seems sweet. I mean, it's probably. I mean, when you're designing things, it's easy to be like, oh, this is a cool thing. Let's do lots of this. This is awesome.
Sure.
And then, it kind of fades out after you do it. You get it out of your system. The board is 2 tokens for Andrew Shrout and a Shrine of Loyal Legions, along with the +1/+1 Vigilance card. Sorry, what's it called? Intangible Virtue. Virtue. And a Geist of Saint Traff on Brian Boss's side. Brian Boss, no stranger to the Star City game circuit, top-aided a couple of the Open Series, both in Legacy and in Standard. So, and guy serves in, and token trades off with it, but gets in 4 more points of damage, drop Andrew Shrout down to 10. And Believe in a Ring on the Shrine, and that's huge.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That is a big deal. Let's see, so the board kind of cleared out. That Shrine is looking to be going to be a big issue for Brian Boss, but that Oblivion Ring wiped it right out. And now Brian is probably just going to start wrenching control of this game. He looks like he's got a handful of action. I see a couple counter spells there, maybe a 6 drop.
Yeah, it doesn't look too great.
Notice how Brian kept his curve pretty low. He's got 2 Sphinxes and 2 Gideons. Otherwise, I mean, everything is pretty cheap, so he can operate on an instant speed axis.
Yeah, that's the same kind of mana that like Cobblade used to have. A lot of people are running the 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, and then 5 and 6 drop.
Right.
It works out really well.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a new era of Magic. People are just doing this all the time. It's like, oh, Cobblade works so well. We'll just try this. So there's
no, it's how like cards like Liliana and Titans, what they're doing in the format, just like Jason Titans. You see a lot more 1, 2, 5, 6s in index. And blue-white's the big one because it can do that with its mana base because its cards are just uniquely designed that way.
And Forbidden Alchemy comes down. We give Brian a card. Didn't catch what it was, though. Flipped a land. Didn't catch what else was there.
I'm curious why he's running Forbidden Alchemy and he's not running like Sun Titan and a flashback. It just seems like a wasted card. Like, why wouldn't it just be Think Twice? Because you actually generate card advantage off of it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think he wants to put cards in his graveyard for Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah.
But I am surprised that he doesn't have Think Twice. There's Ponder, especially because the deck wants to operate on instant speed axis, too.
Yeah, I don't really like Forbidden Alchemy in this deck. I bet he doesn't either. He probably thought it was sweet.
I'm pretty greedy, so I would have probably played like a Swamp or something like that, just in case.
Why not? I don't think it's that greedy, actually.
You play.
Well, then we had a couple Swamps when we put Liliana in.
Yeah, I know, right? If you give a moose a muffin, like you give a mouse a cookie, you give a kibble a dragon, like these things just happen. All right, there's Gideon Jura. Gideon is going to giddy up and make things hard for Andrew Shrout.
Why is that going to make it difficult? His creatures have vigilance.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Gideon. So there's Elspeth numero 2 for Andrew.
Is it going to be tick up, protect my Elspeth, or make a bunch of guys?
I prefer to make a bunch of tokens. All right, attacks Gideon, getting down to 6 counters. But now Brian does have this huge Gideon. Oh, he draws Tay off the top.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful.
He just flips it straight up onto the table. And serves in for 6. We'll drop Andrew Shrout down to 4. His board now completely wiped out. Andrew tries his 3rd Elspeth. Brian has the mana leak, and that should be that. Should be headed into game 2 shortly. Brian untaps. Taps Gideon, carefully draws his card, and we'll choose to activate Gideon and attack. Wait, the game isn't over?
I don't think we have life totals correct.
I would guess not. Alright, now Andrew concedes. Close enough. Yeah, I mean, that game was pretty much...
Alright, so last time we saw Andrew, he surprised it. We need Equity Judgment. This time, the bigger blue-white control deck's like, no, I'm going to day you. Hit you with my Planeswalker.
Let's look at the sideboarding here for Andrew Shrout. What do you think you'd do here?
He doesn't have much that he wants in this matchup. Maybe sort of Feast and Famine, Oblivion Ring and Naturalize are potential, but that's about it. Like,
oh, that is Naturalize. I thought it was Nevermore from over here. Yeah, Naturalize, I guess.
Yeah, Naturalize. Yeah, so I mean, he's gonna have to take the beat down in this matchup.
Maybe bring in that Oblivion Ring. Other than that, there's not a lot there. Looking over at Brian Boss's sideboard, 3rd Day of Judgment, or will be coming in for sure. Dismember, 4th Dismember, I could see that.
I don't actually think Dismember is that good in this matchup. Like, he has Hero and the Lunarch, but other than that, it's all tokens. Dismember probably doesn't seem that great in this matchup.
I mean, it's interesting because I think you want to keep Summon.
You keep a couple in, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
So, I mean, if you want to bring in... Do you want to bring in Timely Reinforcements?
No. The way I approach this matchup is I approach it like I want counter magic and I want mass removal, and I don't want to get far behind from the token. So I don't want Timely Reinforcement because if they have... I want to make their anthems not that useful because, like, you can't play that game with them. You make tokens, I make tokens. Oh, you have an Anthem. Then your card's just bad. So I want to play this matchup controlling his Shrine of Loyal Legions and controlling his Elspeths and controlling his heroes. Everything else just doesn't really do that much. And so you're going to want your Day of Judgments. You're going to want... what's that card? Celestial Purge in sideboard?
Yeah.
I think Celestial Purge is actually a card that's underrated right now because it kills Liliana, kills Grave Titan. Like, I think
Not
it's
in
good
this
to see in
matchup,
sideboard.
though.
Yeah, not in this matchup.
Do not bring it against the green and white deck.
Yes. I don't think anyone would ever do that. I would probably get called an idiot on Twitter before anyone would actually put it in.
Although, I did in Limited, I read it in Deathmark against blue-black once, and it was awesome.
Explain.
So, I was playing Sealed, and he had Called the Grave in his... Rise from the Grave in his deck, and like we played the first 2 games, like they both went super controlling decks. The game went super long, and both times all that mattered was him Rise from the Graving my Vengeful Archon. So I boarded in Deathmark, and then when he Rise from the Grave in Game 3, I Deathmarked my Vengeful Archon.
No way.
Yeah,
That's absurd.
yeah, it's pretty insane, right?
I could just see boarding out the Vengeful Archon.
No, but that's like it's just insane. Like if I have it, it's like really good for me. But like he went like Doombladed, untap Rise.
Yeah.
And then she shipped back, and I just had the most gigantic grin on my face. He's like, "Oh, you're just gonna kill it?" I'm like, "No, you don't understand what's about to happen." Like, Deathmark.
Level me.
That's probably like one of the most ridiculous yet effective sideboarding things I think I've ever done.
Yeah. I think he's gonna bring Anticipate. I like counter magic from Brian Boss.
It's gonna be like Elspeth Tyrell. That's like a big card to deal with.
Elspeth Shrines. Yeah. Like those are the cards you want to control in this matchup.
Andrew's just gonna cut off his Day of Judgments, right?
I would assume that's what's coming out.
Bring in 2 Oblivion Ring, or bring in 2 swords and an Oblivion Ring or something. Maybe a second Oblivion Ring if there's something else he wants to take out. Take out a Dismember, potentially. Dismember doesn't seem particularly exciting here. So we'll see what happens. How do you feel about Doomed Traveler in this deck? I mean,
Pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Andrew's list. It's like
It just seems
it's
like
the
the
one card
weak
that stands
card.
out to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, I don't know what you replace it with, but I don't want to play with that card.
I agree. See what else he's got there. According to Jarvis Yu, the well man Jarvis Yu, love me Jarvis Yu, says that former Moto ringer Nicotine Jones built Andrew Shrout's deck. I don't know if you've ever played against Nicotine Jones.
Nicotine Jones?
Yeah, I've seen him before on Moto.
I've Jones for Nicotine before, but I've never played against Nicotine Jones.
Well, he built Andrew Shrout's deck, so interesting. We'll see how it plays out in Game 2 after things change up. Not that much, really. I mean, Brian gets an extra day. Andrew loses some dead cards, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of it stays the same. All right, players grab their opening hands, and let's see what they got going on. All right,
both
players
players
off to the races.
All right. Land go from Andrew, land go from Brian Boss. Both are fast lands. All right, Honor the Pure, setting up for token enabling. Brian Boss is going to get 2 mana into play, have a mana leak up, and no pressure. It's always a good feeling.
Yeah, whenever you reach turn 2, you have that mana leak. That shows you how insanely warping that card can be, and it's insanely powerful. Mana leak might be one of the most underrated, just on pure power cards. People play it all the time, but
I don't think it's underrated.
It's not underrated, but just if some people ask you, what's like some of the most powerful cards in M12, I don't think many people are going to say Mana Leak. I mean, people play it a lot, but I don't know if they necessarily correlate its power.
I mean, it's not in M12, so... Or never mind, sorry. I was thinking Preordain. I actually got ahead of myself, and I was switched the word to Preordain.
It's not an M12. Well, this is a very awkward situation,
yeah.
then. All right, well, there's some Forbidden Alchemy on Brian Boss's part.
Brian Boss did not counter the 2 tokens. I'm curious why not.
Well, I think it's because he probably expected Andrew to untap and do something else, so he wanted to be able to counter it then, but that's not quite the case.
What would he want? I like using my counter spells and make them play another spell, because now you have that pressure and Andrew can just sit on that, and then if he ever days, he gets Elspeth into play. Like, this was a turn where he wouldn't have to deal with an Elspeth. Unless he can't deal with a hero, but no, I don't know. I think I counter that. Like,
I would
4
probably
power.
counter that. And 4 flying power, unless you can't just Snapcaster and make
Yeah.
us block. I mean, if you're going to be playing a token deck, you really should get some tokens. No offense to Andrew Shrout, but I mean...
I think there is a fence. I think so. You should have your tokens. You should be prepared.
Yeah, I like trophies. Nothing wrong with that. Just like,
what
seeing
he
the
keeps
sleeves on the
attacking with a
table.
trophy though all day long until he like wins a trophy.
I guess there's some mentality there, right?
All
Especially if you have different kinds of tokens.
So Drago, after we got a couple 1/1s into play, Brian Boss is going to go for a ponder, trying to find some much needed answers to these tokens and the cards that are scary in Andrew's hand. The problem that Brian Boss is in right now is if he taps out to Day of Judgment or do anything that way, Andrew's going to slam something big, something scary. It's probably a Planeswalker, it's probably Elspeth.
Brian playing the nice Lauren version of Ponder. Picks up a card.
I need to get myself some Lorwyn Oblivion Rings too. I don't own any of those anymore.
Man. Yeah, Circle of Sugar and a Word of Forbiddance.
What?
That's the flavor text.
Oh, what does it say?
A Circle of Sugar and a Word of Forbiddance. Which is slightly different than the Lara flavor text. Which is back to Andrew Shrout.
On to Pier number 2.
Man, letting that Midnight Hunting Resolve not looking so good now.
Yeah.
Now Andrew has plenty of mana to pay for whatever. Brian Boss can't be happy about the situation. He does have Gideon in his hand, so he can potentially knock off one of those tokens next turn, but...
He's going down to 6.
Yeah, he's going to be chopped down to 6 life.
But
and
now he's thinking of mana leaking this? Or is he double leaking?
I mean, he doesn't really have a good way to deal with Honor of the Pure, so, I mean, leaking it... I mean, you can Oblivion Ring, I suppose, but leaking it twice isn't unreasonable.
Now he lets it... What?
He just wants to Time Walk Andrew Shrout away from the rest of his turn. Doesn't want to get Midnight Haunting to end step, I guess.
Sure, I guess the haunting would be bad.
Never want to be haunted. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gideon Jura is just going to go -2, kill a token.
Yeah, for sure.
Should be on 4 loyalty. Yeah, and Andrew's quick to point that out.
Yeah. Not going to deal with 6 and lose again.
I know you know with +2, but it doesn't start on 8. Now Andrew has Elspeth in his hand. He can drop. Still today.
He has multiple day, I think. Yeah, I like how the guy that needs the days, the other guy has 2.
You could just cast them. I mean, jeez. All right. Well, there's Elspeth. I mean, that's definitely correct. The question is, and you make 3 tokens also.
Yes.
But the question is if you attack Gideon or not here.
Yes. No.
I don't think you do. Because he's going to +2 it next turn anyway, right?
Yeah. Well, potentially he might not. Like, if he has a Day Judgment, he won't. He'll be swinging with it.
Well, sure. But I mean, he just texted. Either way, we want to get the damage through, right? Because if he goes +2 next turn, you have to attack with everything that's going to die anyway. But Andrew just opts to attack the Gideon. It is tempting when there's Gideon on the table to fight it. That guy's ended Mini Mage.
All right, so Day of Judgment takes out the creature type. Gideon's going to kill Elspeth.
Oh, wow, this is a brutal turnaround for Brian.
Same thing that happened last game.
Yep. Good start by Andrew, but...
So another Elspeth can drop. I think Andrew has one.
All right, well, there's Gavany Township, which is certainly good, but...
A little late. That would have been nice when he played that Honor of the Pure.
Yeah. It's kind of cool card, though. I mean, it's interesting to see all these new lands played. We've seen Nephilia Drownyard. We've seen everyone played today.
But the red-black one.
But the red-black one, Stencia Blood. Which may see some play eventually. As like a one-of.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Not even as a one-of?
I mean, all the Planeswalkers are bigger. Like, you can't really do much with it.
You just pay 6 and deal 2. It's sweet and limited. I haven't limited is awesome.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really good. Like, I just got into like a board stall, and then it was like, all right,
Yeah.
2U, 2U, 2U. It was like a double pinger. All right, Brian Boss serves for 6, chopping Andrew's life total down to 14.
All right, Andrew needs to top deck some actual creature
You
spells.
see some more days. Oh, there's a shrine. It's not an actual
Do
creature
you
spell.
Wrath?
I would probably Wrath. Like, it's not going to do anything for you. You just want to get counters on your shrine, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of hilarious, but has to be done.
Do you Wrath? Nothing.
A legitimate game question.
Like I watched AJ today. It was so funny. He had 2 1/1 Sun Titans in play. One was an image. One was a Sun Titan. And he goes, attack you for 2, get 2 lands back, Wrath myself, bring them back, bring both back, get 2 more, or get another land. It's just so stupid.
Why were they 1/1s? All right. Casts the Wrath, puts a counter on it. Oh, man.
I like that play.
I mean, I like the play. It's just funny. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen. Just Wrath cast, do nothing. Or, kill no creatures.
Probably maybe a Mindslaver. Maybe you haven't seen it. I bet Mindslaver's the only time this might have ever happened.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure this situation's happened sometime before.
True.
But just, I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of Magic in the past year, let me tell you. Snapcaster Mage. It's going to flashback that Forbidden Alchemy. So that's a way you can reuse your Forbidden Alchemy. Just get some value off them that way. Also lets you reuse your Ponders, do all kinds of cool little things.
Alright, so let's see what he does now. Still playing spells.
Oh, Divine Offering.
Sorry about that, buddy.
Shrine of Loyal Legion's down, and Brian Boss is firmly in control. The town of Gavany is being raided. I think that was Dissipate too, so Brian even has counter magic backup. He has 3 Inkmoth Nexi, or necklaces, I suppose. I don't know the hard way.
Alright, tons of ink moths, everything's coming in. It's playing the game where it's like, yeah, I gotcha.
I got all these things.
Alright, so
Taps a lot of mana for a huge Machaeus the Lunarch. Dissipate. And that is, Brian Boss takes it down 2-0. Both times we thought Brian might be in a losing position, but does what control decks do best and just battle back. So I think Billy Marino said it best. Control is all about losing and losing and losing until you finally start winning. And Brian put on a perfect show of that there. Defeating Andrew Shrout pretty definitively.
yeah, that was a pretty interesting match.
I mean, I still love Andrew's deck, though. That deck is sweet.